In this video, we're going to take a look at how organizations actually build their security programs. We're going to start off with cybersecurity frameworks. Now, I need you to understand that security is a process. It's not a one-time setup, and that's where cybersecurity frameworks come in. One of the most widely used framework is the NIST cybersecurity framework. This framework breaks security into 5 different key functions. The first function is identify. The second is to protect. The third is to detect, respond, and then recover. When we're identifying, we need to know what it is that we need to protect. The second, protect, is the actual security control that we put in place to, provide this protection. When we're detecting, we're monitoring for threats. And when we respond, that's when we actually handle the threat, and we want to do it quickly. And lastly, we want to make sure the business get back to normal. So we have to make sure that we recover. Using these frameworks keeps the organization from winging their security programs, and it also helps them to meet legal and industry standards. The next concept I want to go over is gap analysis. Let's say your organization wants to improve its security. Well, where do you start? You should probably do a gap analysis. And a gap analysis is asking, where are we now and where do we want to be? Get it? Where's the gap between where we want to be and where we are? This process is great if your organization wants to either grade or score their organization's security posture. They want to list missing or weak security controls. They want to suggest steps to fix those gaps. A gap analysis is often done when first adopting a framework or when the laws and regulations change. Sometimes an external consultant will step in to help. It's usually good to outsource these things because compliance can get pretty complex. Plus, you want to get an unbiased review. All right, you got that concept? Let's move on to the third one. Access control and IAM. For this one, we're going to zoom in on something super practical. Access control. Access control decides who gets access to what and what they're allowed to do once they're in. We use the acronym IAM, which stands for Identity and Access Management, in order to manage this. IAM has 4 key parts that I want you to take note of. Identification, this is asking, who are you? What's your username? And then there's authentication. This is where I want you to prove that you are who you say you are digitally. This is using your password or fingerprint. And then you have authorization. Authorization means, what are you allowed to do? You may have access, but not everyone has access to everything. And then there's accounting, and that's, what did you do? Do we have a record of you logging in? Do we have a record of you accessing the system or doing certain activities you are authorized to do? Together, these things help us to manage access and track actions. And it doesn't matter if it's people or if it's systems doing the work. It all applies. Here's an example of IAM. This one's not as funny as the last video. Now, imagine you're launching a cybersecurity training platform like my platform, pgacourses.com. Here's how you should apply IAM to manage user access to make sure that you're secure. For identification, we want to make sure each student is uniquely identified. This means we need to require an email address or a username during the account creation. We might also want to verify student eligibility if they're offering discounted plans. Essentially, we need to know who is trying to access the system using the username. Now there's authentication. Once the student registered, they must log in using a secure password. This step confirms the person accessing the account is the one who actually registered. They've proven they are who they say they are. Next is authorization. Well, not everybody on our platform is going to have the same level of access, right? Free users can view intro videos and free videos on the website. Paid users, like those that have the all access pass, can have access to all the videos. They could download materials, take quizzes, etc. And then you have your admins who can upload new content and manage student records. Authorization levels are different. Different people are allowed to do different things. And then lastly, we have accounting on pgacourses.com. We're able to know when users watch lessons. We're able to know what quizzes they complete, certificates that they download after they complete the courses, right? If a student claims they've never accessed the course, the logs will show otherwise because we can see what they did while they were there. Here's a recap. In this video, we learned what a cybersecurity framework is and why it is used. We learned what is a gap analysis and the benefit of conducting one. And we learned the 4 functions of IAM and how access control works in real life. These ideas are everywhere in cybersecurity, people. And yes, they are testable in the Security Plus exam. So get to learn them. See you in the next one.